Okay, so we take my draft halter, and obviously we got a big old head on Rufus here. So we take the right-hand side and we push it together. This is the nose that goes through here, so this is the right-hand side. So you push these two together and you pull the slack like that. Now you take the other side, push it, pull it together. Quit! Hey! And we'll push this other side to here. Now see, with a big wide nose band, when Rufus pushes against this, it doesn't do a whole lot to him. It needs to be in here. Then that makes him be able to move and see his feet goes backwards right there. So a wide nose band does no good on him. So you see, now I adjusted the knots. So I'll adjust it one more time. Quit. And I really want to have my knots about 3 fingers apart. So we'll pull that slack there. Now, we're going to take and adjust this knot here. This knot here goes up underneath the chin, goes right here, and it touches these 2 bones right here in this area. So this knot tells the mule to go forward when this knot touches. All right, so I'm going to adjust this knot right here. This is the jaw nut. You see how he rubbed against me and I just bumped him? That's okay. He needs to understand he can't be pushing coming into my space, pushing me around. So now I've got that adjusted. I can see that's kind of big. So I'm going to take this crown knot here, Turk's head knot. I'm going to take the right-hand side and push on it. And you can see how it comes up and around. And I'll follow it on around. Like this. Hey, 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 hey! Get out of my space! So see, when they come over into your space, make a big deal of it. Don't move out of the way. Smack them in the belly like a mare would kick one and say, get out of my space. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Now you see that mule is out of my space. Now I take the right-hand side. See, I just adjusted the right-hand side. You can see now the loop's bigger. Now I'll take the left-hand side and push it. Follow it on around. Quit. Like that. All right. So see, all you do with these knots is you take the right and the left side. Hey! Okay, now you see how that time? All I had to do was growl at that mule. Didn't have to whack him a second time. And I said, hey, and I moved him out of the way. So now I've kind of got a basic adjustment. You want to make sure that the 2 knots are straight. Now we'll put it up on the mule's head. And he's got a lot of head. Throw the rope over here.
How big is this guy?
This guy is 16.5 hands high, and he's probably right around 1,600 pounds. And his head's probably 300 pounds. He's a lot of head on him. Rufus is an older mule. We mainly just use him for elk hunting, for packing freight out. Quit moving. Every time you move, you tighten the knot, you knucklehead. Every time I get the knot adjusted, he goes and moves his head, pulls it loose. There we go. So I'll adjust this up where the knots go in there like this. And then we'll pull this up, come around the back, and pull it through right here. There. Now notice, the 2 knots are right here on the nose. This knot up underneath here, this knot here hits the 2 bones. That tells the mule to go forward. Now, as you use this, I don't usually use a snap, but this is what we got available. I don't like snaps because as it rolls back and forth, the weight of it makes the mule tighten in his throat latch. So this is a draft mule. Now, you can see how loose it is right here. This is too loose. So let's move him around a little bit. And as we move him, And as we tighten up the rope, it's going to, every time we use it, it's going to tighten up it's going to loosen up the notches on the rope here. So now we'll go ahead and we'll tighten it one more time right here. We want him to be about 3 fingers above the nostril on a draft mule, like this. Now, I'll go ahead and use him. Move around the rope. And as I'm pulling on it, he's going to be bumping on it. He's going to be stretching these knots. So now you can see how much more the halter has loosened up. So we want to adjust the bottom part. Notice how the front part of the nose, this is about right. This doesn't change. What does change is this over here. Now I've got my friend from Australia here, David Scholl. So I'm going to have him come over and kind of see what I'm doing here. So this is my friend David from Australia. He come all the way from Australia to spend some time with the crazy Arizona mule rider. So here I am. And so what I've did now, David, is I've adjusted the knots so that they're right here in the nostril, 2 to 3 fingers above the nostril, okay? Yep. But now underneath here, this touches nerves here. So this needs to be tighter. And I always say it's tight, and like putting your socks on, that tight. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna throw this loop over him and let you kind of hold on to here, right here. And I'm gonna readjust that halter. So I'm going to take the halter. This is called a Turk's head knot. So you can see the front of it right here. So I'm going to take the right hand side and I'm going to push on it. Notice how that rope comes up. And then I'm going to follow it around. Over one, under one. Follow it right on around and then pull your slack. Now notice how this loop is now taller than the other loop. And notice how it's now shorter on the one side. So now I'll push again now on the left hand side, push up on it, follow it around, over one, under one, follow it right on around, and then pull the slack. Now I want it tight to be around his nose. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up on his nose now. Pretty snug. That's what I want to see. Sometimes it takes a couple of different adjustments. Now you can see how snug it is here now, David.
Yes.
See here?
Yep.
This touches the nerves here. So that does the right and the left. And then here's this right in here that teaches the whoa and the back up. So I'm going to take and put just a teeny bit of pressure and I'm going to bump. And he's thinking, why don't you let go of me? And I'm going to say, no, I'm going to keep bumping until your feet move. There's the foot move. So you just keep bumping. I started out lightly, ask, and then I told, now demand. Now watch. Now I'm going to ask. Now I'm going to tell. Now I'm going to demand. There we go. There's the other foot. Now I'm going to ask. Now I'm going to tell. Didn't have to go to the demanding stage. Now I'm going to ask. Now I'm going to tell. There. So I didn't have to go to the demanding stage. Now notice how this has now gotten longer in here. The knot's gotten tighter. So now I have to adjust it one more time. So now we'll take it loose. And we're designing the Turk's head knot. So we're going to take the right hand side, see the loop. Here's the right hand side, push on it, follow it around, follow it around. Now it's becoming shorter. Now I'll take the other side, push on it. The left hand side now, first I did the right hand side. Now I push on it, I follow it on around, follow it on around, boom. By doing this, folks, you'll teach your mule how to be soft. When the knots are clear out here on the bone, it don't mean a bit of thing to this mule. I can push on it, shove my fingers in there. I'm really shoving it. And he's not doing nothing but trying to lift his head to get away. But you lower it and you put it here, there goes his head, and then you push here, and there goes his feet. Just that quick. So if you do it correctly and adjust your halter correctly, you'll get good response with a little bit of work. Now notice how tight it is now. That's what I want. I want it tight like putting your socks on. Well, David, you said you got a mule about this size, huh?
Yes, I do.
We got this halter all adjusted up for him now. There we go. So now, you can see how it's a little bit lower now and a little tighter here. That's okay. Now let's move him around. Let's go to using it. We'll see how quick we can get adjustment out of it. Okay, now look. I'm going to go ahead and adjust it up a little bit more. Here and here and here. And I'll take probably about a ½ an inch out of here. What you do not want to do with the halter is you do not want to have the halter rope back behind the jaw. That's just bone. It ain't going to do a bit of good. And this knot here will not work correctly because you notice that when I pull this forward, it bumps and it drops his head down. That's what you want. You want response. Every knot has its place to work correctly. So now I'll move him around. All right, now I'll come back over here to the backing up again. I'm going to ask. You see how quickly the feet moved? Ask, tell the man. Now I'm going to come back again. I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask. See, now I'm in an asking stage. Before I had to get tough on him. That's okay. That's part of their language, to ask, tell, demand. You'll get to where you have to just barely touch it like you saw me do there, and you're going to get response with the feet.